The courtyard was silent, but for the scuff of boots on dry stone. 500 soldiers stood at attention, their faces unreadable, their uniforms a sea of muted green under the blazing sun. And at the center, a young officer, a woman with eyes that burned steady, stood facing a colonel twice her age. His words had already cut deep, sharp enough to draw blood without a blade. But when he lunged forward, his polished boot rising to strike her, the entire camp seemed to stop breathing. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. She hadn't expected it to go this far. Hours earlier, she had only wanted to prove herself, to show that her place among the ranks was earned, not given. But the colonel had mocked her relentlessly, each insult a reminder of how the old guard still saw her, not as a soldier, but as a mistake. He thought humiliation would drive her out. He was wrong. The soldiers shifted uneasily, the scrape of metal and leather echoing like whispers of doubt. She felt her throat tighten, the heat of shame pressing against her skin. Yet beneath that weight, another force stirred, a calm resolve, as steady as the rhythm of her heartbeat. She would not bend. She would not cower. When his leg lashed toward her, the world slowed. She saw the arc of his boot, the sneer on his face, the dust swirling golden in the sunlight. And something inside her snapped, not from anger, but from clarity. With a single motion, precise and deliberate, she caught his strike, twisted, and drove him to the ground. The sickening crack echoed like thunder across the courtyard. For a heartbeat, there was only silence. Then a collective gasp, like the air had been pulled from every chest. 500 soldiers stood frozen, eyes wide, as their colonel writhed on the ground, clutching his shattered leg, but she didn't look down at him. Her gaze stayed steady, fixed forward, her jaw tight. Inside, she wasn't celebrating. She was trembling. She had defended herself, yes, but she had also crossed a line that none of them would forget. Was it defiance or survival? In that suspended moment, even she wasn't sure. The whispers spread through the ranks like wildfire. Disbelief, shock, something almost like awe. Then, one soldier stepped forward. He stood tall, raised his fist to his chest, and saluted her. Another followed, then another, until the stillness was broken by a wave of voices, boots striking in unison, a tide of loyalty no colonel could command. The broken man on the ground had ruled by fear. But what she had awakened was stronger. Respect. Yet even as the sound of unity filled the courtyard, her mind whispered doubts. Had she gone too far? Had she become the very thing she had stood against? The questions burned, but when she looked into the eyes of those around her, she saw something else reflected back: gratitude. For in defending herself, she had defended them all, because sometimes courage doesn't ask permission. It rises when it's called, and it refuses to step aside. And as the dust settled, as the last echoes of the colonel's fall faded into the air, one truth lingered: respect cannot be forced. It must be earned, because justice doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. The courtyard that began with silence now closed with something far more powerful: a quiet, unshakable belief that one voice, one act of courage, can change everything. That if this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you believe in stories where courage speaks louder than fear, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next one.